Hi there, and welcome to another one of my classic reviews, where I pick up my all-time favourite movies, give it a rewatch, and then come review it. In this video I'm going to talk about The Red Shoes, which is one of my favourite films from the 1940s and a very classic British film. So The Red Shoes is written and directed by Michael Powell and Emeric Pressburger, who were perhaps the greatest colour filmmakers of their era. Their work on colour films in the 1940s is extraordinary. All of their films look magnificent. Their cinematography, their lighting, their visuals are just superb. And The Red Shoes is perhaps their most visually ravishing work. Everything about The Red Shoes just looks beautiful. It's a film which is very, very bold and bright in its lighting choices and very beautiful to look at. The story of The Red Shoes is a story of love and dance, and a story of betrayal and loyalty and art, and the way that people can get twisted and the desire that people have. The title is metaphorically represented by a ballet in the film, a ballet of the Hans Christian Andersen titled The Red Shoes. And The Red Shoes ballet is a story of a woman who danced past everything else. She danced past love and past life. She danced until she died. And that kind of plays into the key idea of The Red Shoes, about the passion for dance, about pursuing dance at the cost of all else, about pursuing dance whilst rejecting everything else that we have. And the film is about a woman who becomes a famous ballet dancer, but has to choose between the man she loves and the person who wants her to dance for him. She becomes torn between those two worlds, and she becomes a muse for both. She becomes a muse for the man who wants to love her and wants to write music, and she becomes a muse to the man who wants her to dance. And the film also plays with the idea of what dedication and sacrifice it requires to be a good dancer. There's an idea here that Lermontov, the man who runs the dance, sees her as unfaithful when she chooses happiness over dance, sees her as someone who has betrayed him by not wanting to dance forever. And this whole idea is to do with the idea that you can't be happy in art. Art and dance require dedication, they require sacrifice, they require a lack of happiness. And anyone who is truly happy can never truly dance. And the film plays with this. There's an extended fantasy scene in the middle of The Red Shoes, which is something that Powell and Pressburger sometimes do in many of their films, because fantasy and reality are portrayed the same in all of their films. They don't shoot them any differently. And the long surreal fantasy sequence in the middle of The Red Shoes is just the ballet performed, but performed in a way which is obviously not as if you're in the audience. It's performed as if you're on stage taking part. It's performed as if the stage goes everywhere, as if there is an expanse of the world, as if the fantasy envelops everything, which kind of is how it must feel to actually take part in the dance, where you have to pretend there isn't an audience, where you have to just dance. And The Red Shoes plays with this idea, and this long fantasy scene becomes an entire metaphor for what the film itself becomes. As the fantasy sequence descends into death and descends into someone who will dance till they die, we get this represented later on in the film with other ideas to do with dancing and to do with the magical appearance of shoes and to do with dancing forever. The film is also about love. It's about finding love and trying to keep love and trying to maintain love in spite of your own desires and in spite of your own dreams. The lead character obviously wants to dance, but she has to abandon dance to get married. And this whole thing feeds into her own sadness, her own feeling that she has rejected the one thing that she truly wanted to get something else that she truly wants. She has to choose, and being forced to choose is something that she cannot stand. It's that whole side of this story that gives The Red Shoes a real emotional heft that makes it one of the most powerful and moving works of its era. To perform dance almost requires a lack of compromise. It requires people to not work in harmony. It requires struggle. It requires everything to not be right, and for the art to truly come through the turmoil, through everything else. And The Red Shoes constantly plays with the idea of art being made through struggle, and art being made through difficulty, and art being pure. And the lack of pure art, the lack of good art, is because of the lack of struggle and the lack of turmoil. So The Red Shoes certainly plays with these ideas, and it's a tragic story in a way. It's about a dance that never ends, because the dance goes until the end, until the literal end. It's really quite a depressing look at that, but at the same time The Red Shoes has a romantic aspect to it. It's a romantic tragedy played on a few levels of emotion, played in a very sad and melancholic way, but also played in a way which is joyous in a way. It's a strange mix of emotion, and it's a very weird and beautiful looking film. It's a film with wonderful set design, with wonderful lighting, with action that is bold and expressionistic. The Red Shoes is just a masterpiece. It's a genuinely delightful film and something that is really, really engrossing. It's very intricate, it's very detailed, it's very enjoyable, but it's also very sad and very moving. It's a film which touches on a whole range of ideas and does so very, very quietly and subtly. It's a film about art which is very watchable and not a film which is detached. It's a film which is just wonderful, and I think The Red Shoes is just a masterpiece. So have you seen The Red Shoes? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it if you have, so please leave me a comment. If you'd like this review, please give it a like. If you want to hear more of my reviews, you can subscribe. If you want to read more of my reviews, you can follow me on Letterboxd or Twitter. Links in the description, and thank you for watching.